Well, good afternoon. This is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant afternoon, and here we are in a typical mid-April day or late April day. It's cold, rainy. We've had snow this morning, and I saw the first daffodils coming up a little bit south of here the other day. First flowers on the daffodils, sorry. So we are very late in Canada. April is always a very iffy month. Anyway, the news is that I spent the first night in my new location last night, and I'm just coming back now to tidy up and basically clean everything out to get the container ready to ship. Everything is done, and yes, I'm going to be going offline for probably 2 weeks until I finally get things set up at the new location and my computer set up and what have you. But in the meantime, what has been happening in the world? Wow, we are just on an absolute roller coaster, aren't we? Anyway, let's take a little look around. There's not much to see, but we'll do a walk and talk, and yeah, we'll take it from there. Okay, here we go. Talking to the operator there, and he said he took it about 1,000 psi, 6,500 psi is their tops, and they're down about 80 feet right now, and it looks like they've just added a 20-foot length. Interesting process. This is the other side of fracking. We've all heard of fracking for natural gas and all the chemicals. This is purely and simply water pressure. So there you go, this is how far the garden has got. These are daylilies, and you can see they're only just coming up out of the ground. So yes, very late springs in northern Ontario. But it's quite strange to see everything cleaned out and empty. Yes, there's been quite a workup for the owner. A lot of this stuff was left here from the renovation when this house was built. So a lot of this stuff has been around for about 8 years. So the cleanup was long overdue. Long overdue. Poor old Jazz is not quite sure what to make of all of this. I've been trying to make it an easy transition, so we've been kind of going backwards and forwards. There's a beautiful trail at the new location, and so we did that this morning and came over here and then did the trail over here, and just to kind of, you know, have a sort of transition period. But yes, this is the second tidy bin that's been here. The first one was massive. It was right here. I think it was in another video. It was completely filled with junk, and this one will be completely filled with junk too. But yeah, I was just talking to a friend last night over dinner, and this is a couple who just returned back from England and Mexico. They've decided Mexico was way too hot to be living, but they said the thing that struck them the most down there was that nobody's wearing a mask, nobody's even talking about any of this stuff. And I think basically, well, something happened the other day in the UK which is absolutely astounding. The UK government has now announced that unless you are over 75, you needn't worry about vaccinating. And so yes, I think it's a pretty big step from everyone being mandated to have these damn things. So there's been a real turnaround on that, and I'm certainly glad to see, because well, where one goes the other will follow, and the whole, as I say, the narrative is just completely falling apart. I don't think there has actually been a recorded case of the original outbreak virus strain for the last year or so. These are all now derivatives of that, and they're turning out to be, yes, somewhat virulent, but certainly nowhere near as strong, and certainly nothing to worry about. Although in Canada here, wow, you're still getting the health warnings on videos. They're still saying things on doing things to people who talk too much on YouTube, Facebook. I mean, it's just, I just shake my head every time I see it. I just shake my head. It's like, you know, they have all these supposed fact checkers. Do they not read the news? Do they not look at the scientists in Germany? These are official government scientists now who have taken apart the blood of a woman. She had some circulation problems in her feet, and so they took samples of blood and they spun them in a centrifuge and separated out into the plasma and the white blood cells and so on and so forth, and sitting on top was a blob of plasticky type jelly protein. They don't really quite know what it is. It's not alive, but it was in her bloodstream. And because of the things that were in it, it proved that it could not possibly have been the virus, but in fact the injection. And so there you go. How many more things? It's now been basically, it's generally accepted that this was created in a lab and escaped. I don't think anyone's saying it was done on purpose, but certainly there was lots of problems with security around the lab that it came out of. And so they were probably messing around, you know, gain of function, and it got out. And there you go. And all of this panic ensued. And I mean, I think probably what actually happened was, what was it they say, never let a good crisis go to waste. So this came out, there was a big panic, and the WEF and the World Health Organization saw this as an unbelievable opportunity for a power grab. So there you go. That's what I think happened. And they've all got egg on their face. And it will be all of us who knew from the very get-go that there was something seriously flawed about what we were being told, and who was telling us. And to say safe and effective is absolutely astounding when we have all these big pharma corporations like Johnson & Johnson, Merck, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, etc., and you look them up. Go onto Wikipedia and go down to the legal portion. These people are all convicted criminals. They've been proven in a court of law to be little more than lying drug peddlers, and that's it. And so if you if you couldn't see through that, or if you trusted the words safe and effective coming from people like that, you know, like this is like going into gangster land and believing that they're just going to offer you some candy. I mean, Jesus, it's just unbelievable Unbelievable. Anyway, there was 12 million of us approximately in Canada saw through this ruse, and that, my friends, is a serious number of people who simply are not going to forget what happened. I mean, it impacted our lives so enormously, and it's not. And again, this is worldwide. I'm sure there are as many people or more people in England because there is a larger population, probably double. So you know, you're probably looking at 24 million people in England who, yeah, are pretty upset about this whole situation. And now that it's all coming out, there's a certain doctor that was a guru during all of this. I won't mention his name just in case it takes this video down, but he has been caught lying in testimony about gain of function and financing of gain of function science with viruses. Absolutely stunning. The financial world continues to roil. It's sounding like they're going to continue to raise interest rates, only 1/4 percentage point in the US in the upcoming meeting. But the damage is already being done. Every month we spend at this level of interest rates is just crippling governments. I mean, governments are now borrowing money at a higher interest rate to bail out banks, you know, who have overlent, overstretched themselves, overreached themselves, manipulated and done God knows what else, and got themselves into trouble. And now we're paying them off with an interest rate that they increased. I mean, it's just insane. And the outcome, whether it's sooner or late, and I suspect it's going to be sooner, judging by the panic that I see on the streets, it's just not a recipe that's going to work. It's not a recipe that's going to work at all. And so I suspect, even though it's gone quiet for the last couple of weeks, we are going to see even more bank failures in the days and weeks to come as all of this starts coming unraveled. And this is exactly what happened in Rome. You know, they will end up having to print money again and thinning out the value of the currency. And I'm still stunned that we haven't got into hyperinflation. And yet, you see, this is the same thing that happened in 2008. There is now a liquidity crisis, so banks cannot get those loans that they needed, like overnight loans and that kind of stuff. And the simple reason is that anybody who has any liquidity is not lending it out because their loan conditions have tightened, and nobody trusts anybody anymore, because they all know that everyone's lying, everyone has been BSing about their financial situation and what assets are founded upon, which is mostly debt. I mean, that's what these people have done. They have converted debt into an asset by one means or another, and then used that asset to create more debt. So whatever they tell you, whatever figures the government is telling you, it's exponentially worse than that. So, like I say, sooner or late, this whole ball of wax has to come undone, and you can see by the preparations that are being made with central bank digital currencies that you know, they think that we're also on the cusp of something very, very serious. And as I have predicted in previous videos, you see, now everyone's coming out. You know, Brazil and Argentina are coming out with their digital currency, and the BRICS are coming out with their digital currency, and the EU's coming out with their digital currency, and the US is coming out with a digital dollar. And it will be just, you know, it's like painting the ship of state orange and saying it's a lifeboat, it's a digital lifeboat. And it is not. It is not. You know, the digital ID is just a digital version of what we've got right now, and it will be filled with the same kind of lies, deceit, and absolute BS that you can imagine. So don't trust it. And again, I can guarantee you that behind the scenes, these people who are telling you not to get into crypto are buying Bitcoin like it's going out of style. And I think that's why the price has increased. It's almost doubled in the last, since the beginning of the year. That people are starting to wake up to the fact that none of these institutions are safe. None of these institutions can be trusted. And all of these institutions will take your money as soon as look at you and then say, it's gone. I don't, look, didn't you read the contract? Yeah. So where do you put your money? You know, gold and silver are nice ideas, but it's kind of clunky. You know, it's nice to have some of that stuff as a backstop, but let me tell you, you know, you are not trading online or internationally as a smaller person, a smaller purchaser, using silver or gold coins. So, you know, as long as internet systems keep on going and that part of our lives remains relatively stable, cryptocurrencies will be your only escape in a system that is detached. It's detached from the fiat system, you know, so it truly is a lifeboat outside of the Titanic. And, well, I must sound like a broken record, but I have said many times before, you know, you need to at least find your ways in and out of cryptocurrencies, should you need to do so in a hurry, how to get money from your bank account into an exchange and then your crypto into a wallet. Because when all of a sudden the dam bursts, and as JP Morgan said, when the shoeshine boy was giving me stock tips, I knew it was time to get out. Okay, well, people will be feeling it's time to get in, and the FOMO, the fear of missing out, will be so intense, it will be unbelievable. Isn't she beautiful? Isn't she beautiful? This dog brings so much joy into my life. She's a wonderful, wonderful companion, even if she does roll in the mud once in a while. So yes, not financial advice, but please, you know, pay attention to what's going on. This is really more than serious, and you know, if you have money sitting in the bank, you need to make some serious decisions. If you have money sitting in the bank and you have debt, pay that debt off. You're better off paying off that debt and clearing that, because any way in which you can be leveraged will be used against you. It's like the Miranda statement. You have the right to remain silent, but anything you do say can and will be used as evidence against you. So there you go. That's how this works. And I will also guarantee you that when this is all over and Bitcoin is king, they'll stand back with a smug look on their faces, with their hands behind their backs, and say to you, well, you didn't know? You did what? Well, if you didn't know, you know, it's like something I was talking to a friend about the other day, you know, and he said, these people want to destroy us. And I said, no, that's actually where you're wrong. What these people want is for us to destroy each other. And that's what's going on in the States, down in Chicago. You know, driving, race against race, person against person, gender against gender. This is all about getting us to destroy ourselves. And again, they will stand back and go, well, we didn't force you to do that. You chose to do it. You voluntarily stepped up and did that. You picked up whatever it was and threw it. So this is exactly what they want. This is how they operate. And understanding that, I think, is actually a bit of a turning point, you know, a bit of an epiphany in how, yeah, what's going on here. Like I say, that they will create the conditions in which we will want to have endless fits of road rage with other members of society, because when we're doing that, we ain't looking at them. And again, I mean, in a way, they're right. The only people we will have to blame is ourselves, because we couldn't restrain ourselves enough to think this through, that shoulder to shoulder, wow, you've got a force to be reckoned with. And as long as we're arguing over nickels and dimes and bits and pieces, it will never amount to a hill of beans. But that, my friends, is what we have to do. So I would urge you to continue forward. I will do a video as soon as I can for my new location. It's a wonderful, wonderful spot. It's different from this, but it's magnificent in its own way. It's very treed. It's a very rural property. 50 acres. There's a lake on there. Chicken coop. Another dog. Oh yeah, it's going to be great, great fun. So please keep on trucking. Don't get downhearted. Again, that's one of the things that's built into this PSYOP, is they want people to give up. They want you to voluntarily give up and just collapse in a big heap on the floor and say, "Help me, mommy." So it is time to grow a backbone, get a bit of a stiff upper lip, and brace yourself. Brace yourself in a positive fashion. There's no way we can escape this. You know, these things that have been done are unfolding now, and there is no way to put this genie back in the box. So, be prepared, stay positive, stay joyful, and move towards a great new future. A future for humanity. As dark as this seems, like I say, I'm very positive. The way we're forming community up here, I'm over the moon. You know, me moving on to this new property is going to be the initial anchor pulling this community together to do what we intended to do, which is to help and support each other through all of this. So yes, very positive, very bright outlook for the coming months and years, and like I say, I'll do a video as soon as I can. Okay, yeah, here comes the rain again. So if you've enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe below, and we will be back with you very, very shortly. And in the meantime, this is Houndog Steve signing off, wishing you a very pleasant afternoon, and we'll talk very, very shortly. You take care now. Bye.